Well, I was right. It is indeed April 9th. A very significant date for me, um, personally. Um, it has to do with my first deployment when I first got in the Army, when I was sent to Vicenza, Italy, by way of the first Gulf War. A very important person in my life died that day in 1990, 20 years ago today. Very important person. Sergeant Susie Miller. You can check, well, and yeah, President Bush Sr.'s presidential library and the halls of Congress. You can look up her name. She got a presidential uh, order, which is the second highest you can get because the first highest is you have to get too much shit on a person. There's too much shit to get on Susie and us. So there's no way she was getting the Congressional Medal of Honor, that's for sure. There's just too much shit around the whole thing. Too many questions that would need to be answered that just didn't need to be answered. Believe me, it didn't need to be answered. About me, about Chase, about Miller, about Courtwright, and Leger, fucking fool. But it is what it is. Who's calling? Hey. Hey, Ray, what's up? Oh, yeah, it's rocking. Yeah. I've played some games just with the controller. I'm getting used to the controller, and then I've gotten used to the headset pretty well. Um, I keep my glasses on. I tried without my glasses, but with my glasses on, I'm much sharper on my peripheral vision. Yeah. Well, the funny part is, funny thing is, I tried one of those um, first person shooter games where it's like you're in the military again. Ooh, it was it was weird because I felt like I was there again, and it felt bad, but it felt good in a very bad way. Little flashbacks, but it was good. I mean, it felt like a release, like part of me needed to do that in order to get that aggression out again, as opposed to blowing up on everybody like I did already that day. Now I get to do this and get that aggression out as opposed to just having it build up. Yeah, I like Mortal Kombat. I was good at Mortal Kombat. Yeah, cool. Well, see, that will depend for me. It'll depend on exactly what the gore is for. If it's just for gore's sake, no, thank you. If it's actually, if it looks like what would happen if you devastated that person to that level, and the gore looks realistic, I can go for that. Where you can see the damage you're doing. Ah, yes. And this is another one. Doom. They're talking about the new Doom game, and I'm like, yes, I remember playing Doom back in the day. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'm on the web ranting and raving right now, so I'll talk to you later, my friend. All right, bye. Okay. Best guy in the world, Raimundo Perez Murillo, whatever his names are. Best guy, bar none. But today, I find myself on the horns of a dilemma with the knowledge that I have of what today is 20 years ago. Fortunately, I did talk to the guys I needed to talk to. And I just talked to the last guy I needed to talk to in order to be able to talk about this to see if it was okay for this year to talk about it. And it's okay for this year, so I can talk about it. I don't know if I will fully. I think I have already ranting and raving along where somewhere talking about Sergeant Susie Miller and the love we had for her. Because I think yeah, I'm right in saying that tonight has all been all about love. And I've talked to a few people. One, Sergeant Chase. For the life of me, I can't remember his first name. I think it's Mark. But that doesn't sound right. I think that's Courtrights. Or John, or I don't know. I just know the last names and ranks. Like, well, I knew Susie's first name. Everybody knew Susie. She was 4 foot 11-ish, 111 pounds of pure evil, is what she would like to say. But it was just a big, solid ball of love, is what she was. What we used to do was unique. Now I was about 150 pounds. She was 111. We were both solid. And we would launch ourselves at each other, run right towards each other, and do a chest bump as hard as we could, launching off our feet, pushing with our chest, and physically assaulting each other with our chests. And it was just the two of us that would do this. Nobody else would. Everybody would get out of our way if it was happening. Because they just, and you're, and everybody, it'd be like an Indiana Jones movie where the seas would part. And there would be Susie and James yelling at each other, running towards each other. Everybody's going, yeah. And they're throwing bets down on Susie because I always lost. Well, I didn't always lose. 75% of the time, I lost to an 111-pound, 4 foot 11 woman that had more spirit than weight. She had more force of will than 111 pounds and 4 foot 11. When we hit, it wasn't our chests that hit, it was that force of will that collided, and then our bodies would hit. And that force of will would always push me back, and then our bodies would hit, and I had to go flying. Or if I caught the right angle, I'd catch her and she'd go flying. We never broke anything. We have dislocated and bruised. I don't know how we started that. Because she was there. I went there to replace the dental dude that was there before me. She'd been there a few months. Chase, Courtright, Leger had been there for 2 or 3 months. it was just the beginning of it. And there were the 7 of us that had specialties that were endemic to a fully deployed unit. I was the dentist. I was trained in all areas of dental. I didn't need a doctor. You had a medic, the medic, that was not airborne, but specifically a combat medic trained to alpha status. Airborne. Me, airborne. Funerary services. Susie, airborne. Personnel services. Chase, airborne. What is it? Explosive Ordnance Division. One guy, airborne. Pedroza. You know, we were the Pogues. I was a dental Pogue until I proved I was a doc. And the way I proved I was a doc was somebody came to me with something fucked up. I fixed it right away with no fuss and no pain, and got him back to fighting shape right away. Or gave a great excuse why they should be kept out of fighting strength for an extended period of time. And my word was considered a doctor's word, unless a doctor overrode me. And he'd have to know a whole lot more about dentistry than I did. And you didn't get dentists coming out at the front lines. You had them back at MASH units and DRASH units. But you had a dental tech front line that if you broke a tooth, I could pull it or fix it. That's what you got. And if I had the time, I'd make you a bridge or a crown. Temporary. And if I had the time, I'd make it permanent. Which I did. And my job, specifically, was related to funerary services, identification of bodies. Anybody that died had to be identified before they left country. And there were 7 of us that had the jobs of making sure that they were checked off the box before they could leave the theater of operations to be fully identified back at a Allied air base, usually Landstuhl Air Base in Germany, and then after being fully identified, flown back to the United States for proper honors and burial. And 20 years ago today, I don't know, about mid-afternoon, I called for the afternoon watch. Susie was on afternoon watch. Most of us were afternoon or evening. We hated morning watch because they didn't like us to be morning watch, because especially myself and the medical guy and all the other services, that's when you take care of them, first thing in the morning. So we were never on morning watch. We were afternoon or evening. So Susie was in afternoon. So was Chase and Courtwright, me, Leger, Pedroza, and Lindsay, and I can't remember the other's name. They weren't that tight. We were that tight, and I've contacted them all today, one way or another. But her and Chase were going to get married. Now, she had slept with all of us guys at one point or another. Sometimes with Chase, sometimes without. But he always knew about it. And she always checked with him first. It was, I don't know, it was their thing. And, it was all cool. But they were going to get married, and that was the end of it. They were having their fun. Chase had other women. Susie had other men. That was just the way it was. And they were good with it. And they were going to get married. He's married now. He has two wonderful kids, driving him totally insane. Love it. But April 9th, we try to come together if we can remember. It's a shame when we don't. It hurts so much when I don't. It hurts so much when it does. When I do remember. But it is the most wonderful of pain. If you've never experienced the pain of camaraderie, I don't think you've experienced true love. Because I've loved before. Never like that. My life depended upon her. Her life depended upon me, and I failed her. I wasn't there to save her life. I wasn't there in time. We heard the firefight, and we ran. I'm not particularly good with a rifle. I'm excellent with my 9mm, so I grabbed my 9mm. I grabbed my M16, slung it over my shoulder, but I ran with my 9mm with extra cartridges and just ready to. And when we came around the first dune, we saw the guys coming over, and they were just like, Susie saved us. And we lost it. We just lost it. I remember running up and seeing her dead, full of holes, blown up. And all I remember is running and shooting, being tackled, handcuffed, dragged, mouthful of sand, kicking and screaming, thrown in the back of a truck and told to shut up. And I did. Then I had to do my job, which was dental identification. I had to take x-rays of her mouth, what was left of it. And we were all offered, all six of us were offered, hey, yeah, we can get somebody else to do this for you. You don't have to do it. And not one of us, because I'd have killed the last son of a bitch that would shirk his duty for her. But not one of us would shirk our duty. As much as it hurt, as much as it hurts now, and as much as it hurts in the middle of the night when I wake up screaming, I wouldn't change a thing. I see her eyes, dead. One of her eyes, the other one was gone. Half her jaw was gone. Of the teeth she had, I only had 17 identifiable teeth. And they matched perfectly. But I had to take the x-rays of the entirety of the face. Another one had to take pictures. Another one had to write details. Another one had to do the paperwork. Another one had to request pecuniary services, which included notification and the chaplain's message, which Chase Chase had been corresponding with her mom and dad since they met. When the chaplain got there, they extended their apologies from the United States Army and from Sergeant Chase, her husband. Little did we know they'd actually gotten married. They just didn't tell anybody. They were legally married this whole time. We didn't know. The insurance money went to her mom and dad. Chase went away for a long time. We had to keep searching for him, checking on him for a long time. It was bad. About 10, 15 years ago, he got his act together. Met a woman, had some kids. Now he's got teenagers, boy and a girl. Her name's Susie. I've seen pictures of her. She looks nothing like Susie. But I see the look in her eye. I see that stern scowl on her face when she's pissed off. That's all Susie. That's all Susie. Like I said, as hard as it is to deal with this and to having the memories of having to deal with the entirety of the situation, I could never disgrace the memory of Susie by asking it to be taken away from me or somehow be diminished in my mind. Because if it is not this momentous every year, if it doesn't mean this much every time, then it meant nothing. I know it didn't mean nothing. I know it meant everything. Thank you, God. Don't stop believing. Everything is everything for love. It's all worth it. Even all the crap you have to go through. And you know, I've gone through a lot of crap lately. But for the word love, it would be meaningless. If not for love, I couldn't live. I would have no reason to live. Neither would you. Without love, there is no reason to hate. Without love, there is no reason to kill. Love is why people do good. Love is why people do bad. Love is not good. Love is not bad. Love simply is. It's what you do with it. Because you have love. If you keep it and use it, that's bad. If you give it away and use it, it can be good. But if you just indiscriminately give it away and not use it at all, that's the ultimate good. But it's also going to put you up in harm's way big time. Take my word. Unconditional love sucks. Unconditional love is the worst thing you could do to yourself. because it says that you're willing to go through whatever shit you have to go through just for the sake of it. Just because. Makes no sense, does it? Really doesn't. So, okay. I don't know how much more I can do with this and talk about her. I've got to talk to somebody else right now, so yeah, sorry, bye.